Well, good afternoon, gang. Welcome to Woodcraft. My name is Joe. It is excellent to see you here today. Thank you for stopping by. We have talked a lot about flint and steel here lately, and I want to talk to you on a subject, why I think flint and steel is still very relevant. But before I go any further, let me provide a little bit of context about why or what made me aware of this question, why is flint and steel still relevant, but also why I want to address that today. For many years, I've seen the random comment, the random question on Facebook or on a YouTube video comment or something like that of saying, well, my ferro rod's better, or why would I want to use flint and steel when my bic works 10 times faster? And those are valid observations. In a survival situation, I do not advocate in any way, shape, or form planning for a survival situation with a flint and steel kit. It seems counterintuitive to me when a bic lighter works so well, when a ferro rod works so well. So with that being said, those comments, in my opinion, are accurate. In thinking about it, I feel like there are 4 reasons why I think flint and steel is a very beneficial skill to own in prepping your skill set for that mythical survival situation. Reason number 4 is because it's fun. It's a good activity. It gets you outside. You practice your fire skills. It kind of gets your mind more in tune with making a fire. Anytime you can practice your fire skills, no matter what type of ignition you're practicing with, it is a beneficial activity. You learn more and more each time you do it, whether you actually realize it or not. You may pick up on something now that you don't even realize, and in 2 months down the road, you're having an issue starting a fire, and you remember, you know what, I remember I used such and such tinder when I was struggling before, and it seemed to work really well. And things just kind of click and build off of each other. So it's an enjoyable activity. It gets you outside and it gets you to practice. And reason number 3. Reason number 3 is a fairly big deal to me. As I've mentioned several times in the past, I have 4 kids, which is a relatively large crew for this day and age. I practice with my kids all the time, fire skills, survival skills, stuff like that. I also teach 4-H classes, classes to the homeschool group, specifically on fire a lot of times. And it just seems that kids pick up on flint and steel faster than a lot of other fire making methods. I think it's just one of those things with their motor skills. It clicks with them, banging a piece of steel against a rock quicker than other methodologies there. So it's a good skill. It's something that's good to practice with your kids to get them interested. Kids seem to really enjoy that aspect or that type of fire making. So if you're wanting to get your kids or some group of kids interested in fire skills, this I have found to be a good inroad for that. Reason number 1 and reason number 2 is where this really crosses over into a survival skill, in my opinion. While I don't think that necessarily carrying a flint and steel kit is the best idea as far as a survival situation goes, I think prepping your skill set for that is beneficial for these 2 main reasons. Reason number 2 why I think having ownership of flint and steel is beneficial to one's survivability is it makes you learn your resources. Why is that, you might ask? Well, with a bic lighter, you can sit there and hold that flame to something and eventually get it to burn. With a ferrocerium rod, you can sit there and scrape that ferro rod over and over and over again until eventually whatever you're trying to light is probably going to catch on fire. With flint and steel, you can't do that. You have one shot with that char to impart the heat from that char into whatever you're trying to get to flame. And so you have to know your resources. What works to take that ember from a char cloth or charred punk wood or whatever kind of char you're using, what will accept that heat and successfully ignite. So a big part of your flint and steel skill set, so to speak, is knowing what resources work well, which ones don't, and which ones may not work at all, which in a survival situation is key to actually surviving. Reason number 1 why I think flint and steel is a good skill to have for a survival situation is it makes you think ahead. The number 1 thing you can do in any survival situation is think. So any skill that enables your mind to think, sharpens your mind ahead of time to think about your situation is going to be beneficial to your survival situation. Specifically, how does that relate to flint and steel? It forces you to think ahead. You have limited resources with any flint and steel kit. You only have so much char. You only have so much tinder with you if you have any tinder at all. It forces you to find more resources, rebuild your kit for the next time you need to fire. In that, it also makes you be more aware of your environment. As you're walking, as you're doing whatever activity you're doing, you're constantly on the lookout for resources to rebuild your kit as you're going throughout your day or, again, whatever activity you happen to be doing at the time. So in short, it makes you aware of your need. It forces you to look ahead to fulfill your need. It makes you more aware of your environment to fulfill your need as well. So all that to say, gang, I think flint and steel is a very beneficial skill to have. While actually carrying a kit out in prepping for a survival situation may not be the wisest course of action, in my opinion. If you choose to roll that way, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not criticizing you. I'd much prefer to have, several bic lighters, several ferrocerium rods, etc., etc. However, having the skill or owning the skill set of flint and steel, I think is one of the most beneficial fire making skills you can have in preparing your mind and your skill set for that mythical survival situation that we all like to talk about. Well, folks, thank you very much for being here today. I do appreciate your time very much. I hope you have enjoyed the video. I hope it made you think a little bit. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, mash that thumbs up button for me. Also, if you did enjoy the video and you're not a subscriber yet, I invite you to become so. There's a subscribe button down here somewhere. And also hit that comment section up. Let's discuss this. Tell me your thoughts on this whole ideology or methodology. Anyway, thank you again for being here today, and I will see you next time. I hope you guys have a great day.